Everyone, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Sunshine notice, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. Board of Commissioners, public meeting Tuesday, October 5th, 2021. Pursuant to the requirement of the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, notice of this meeting was published in December 3rd, 2020 issues of the Nutley Sun, the Herald News, and the Star Ledger. A copy of this notice has been posted on the Nutley Town Hall Bulletin Board, and a copy is on file in the municipal clerk's office. Commissioner Kelly.
Present.
Commissioner Evans.
Here.
Commissioner
Here.
Petracco. Commissioner Scarpelli.
Here.
Mayor Tucci.
Here.
Everyone is present, Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I see we have minutes for August 3rd, August 17th, and September 7th, 2021. Can I have a motion, please?
Move it.
Second.
Commissioner Kelly.
Aye.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Mayor Tucci.
Aye. Thank you. Communications and correspondence.
Thank you, Mayor. The Nutley Belleville Columbus Day Parade Committee has submitted an amendment letter requesting street closure from Franklin Avenue heading north to front of Town Hall. Columbus Day Parade is scheduled for Sunday, October 10th, 2021, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We need a motion.
Move it.
Second.
Commissioner Kelly.
Aye.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Mayor Tucci.
Aye.
And that's it for communications, Mayor.
Thank you. We have no proclamations this evening. We have no reports. We will move right into bills, please.
Thank you. Bill list for October 5th, 2021. Public Affairs, $90,744.25. Revenue and Finance, $3,854,857.90. Public Safety, $25,228.59. Public Works, $36,453.24. Parks and Public Property, $647,045.85. Water Utility, $109,783.20. Payroll as of Friday, September 17, 2021. Regular payroll total, $825,031.57. Overtime payroll total, $119,708.42. Total payroll, $944,739.99, for a grand total of $5,708,853.02.
Move the bills.
Commissioner Kelly.
Aye.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Mayor Tucci.
Aye.
And that's it for bills, Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We will now entertain public comment on agenda items only, please.
All persons addressing the Board of Commissioners regarding community concerns should approach the microphone and provide their name and address for the record. Unless further time is granted by the board, each person should limit their address to 3 minutes. All remarks to the board and its individual members must be addressed to the mayor. The mayor may defer citizens' comments to the appropriate member of the board.
Does anyone wish to be heard on agenda items at this point? Seeing none, we will move into Board of Commissioner announcements. Commissioner Scarpelli.
Thank you, Mayor. Our annual leaf bag giveaway will be this Saturday, the 9th, from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. A little change going forward is that normally we give out bags during the week. But since our DPW garage is destroyed, we will not be giving out bags besides on that day. So I just want to make that announcement that it's your one and only chance this year.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Petracco. Thank you. Commissioner Evans.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a reminder announcement that the municipal clerk's office will be open late on October 12th, Eleni, 8 o'clock, right?
4 to 9 p.m.
To 9 p.m. To 9 p.m. on the 12th for voter registrations as well as voter status change, so an address change or any other changes they have to be made no later than the 12th. So the clerk's office will be open late that evening until 9 o'clock.
Fantastic. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Kelly.
Thank you, Mayor. The Health Department will be having a flu shot clinic on Thursday from 10 to 1. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. I just have one announcement this evening. Today, we distributed a letter to all the folks that live on Homer Avenue and Donna Court. Though these are the homes that are right around the DPW that received some of the damage and some of the products that were in their homes and on their properties. So I just want to briefly read this letter. It's a short letter. It says, "Dear resident, if you sustain damage as a result of materials that emanated from the DPW garage onto your property from the remnants of Hurricane Ida, you may be entitled to coverage from the township's insurer. To date, and this is just an update so everyone knows where we are, we have secured a FEMA major disaster designation. We've secured the services of First Call Environmental for cleanup. We coordinated with the NJDEP and retained the services of a licensed site remediation professional to further investigate whether additional remediation is necessary." So if anyone who's listening this evening or in the audience this evening falls into this category or feels that you have some damage that may be covered by our insurance, please email our claims coordinator, Mary Fanui, all right, at mfanui@nutleynj.org to obtain an application and to submit a notice of claim. And the reason we sent out this letter was there was some miscommunication out there that the township may not be doing everything it should be doing. So I just want to put some of those comments to fear. And look, we understand there's a lot of frustration out there. A lot of people experience a lot of devastation. A lot of their personal belongings were destroyed. Their homes were destroyed, and many folks are still cleaning up. But what everyone needs to know is that we're here to help. And if we can, we will do everything in our power to do that. So I just wanted to put out there that if anyone feels they have a legitimate claim as a result of materials that emanated from the DPW garage, all right, they should contact my office and talk to Mary. Thank you. I see moving right along, we have ordinance introductions this evening. Commissioner Petracco?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I have ordinance number 3480, an ordinance to amend an ordinance codified in the code of the Township of Nutley, Chapter 228, entitled Vehicles and Traffic, particularly Article 6, Special Zones and Areas, Section 29A, entitled Handicap Parking, to add to the location set forth thereon, 149 Mountain View Avenue, 94 St. Mary's Place, and 30 Entwistle Avenue. I move that this ordinance be passed to second reading and advertised in the Nutley Sun, together with the notice required by law, that further consideration of said ordinance for final passage by the Board of Commissioners be held at its second reading on November 4th. I move it.
Second.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco,
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli,
Aye.
Mayor Tucci.
Aye.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Evans?
Yes, Mayor. Ordinance number 3481. This is a bond ordinance for introduction, which covers the damage that the municipality suffered due to Tropical Storm Ida. The gross amount of the bond ordinance is for $5.7 million. This will allow us to move forward with necessary repairs and certain mitigation steps that we have to take. It's early in that we believe much of what we sustain and damage will be covered by FEMA as well as our insurances, but we need to start the process. So I move that this ordinance be passed to a second reading and advertised in the Nutley Sun, together with the ordinance required by law, and that further consideration of said ordinance for final passage by the Board of Commissioners be held at its second reading on November 4th, 2021. So move.
Second.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco,
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli,
Aye.
Mayor Tucci.
Aye. Thank you, Commissioner. I'm sorry, I see we have three ordinances this evening on second reading. Commissioner Evans, I believe all three belong to you on behalf of the board, of course. not you
On
personally.
behalf, yeah, let's stress that part.
So if you would start with ordinance number 3477,
Yes,
excuse me, and just give a brief introduction as to what that is.
absolutely.
We'll get that on the way. Thank you.
Absolutely. This ordinance 3477 is for various roadway improvements and sidewalks in the township of Nutley. We have our own bond ordinance. We also work through Millennium Strategies, our grant council, to actually couple this with grants that we could receive from other agencies as well as the county. So this is our portion of that bond ordinance for roadway improvements for $630,000.
Okay, at this time, I will open the public hearing on this ordinance if anyone wishes to be heard.
Rory Moore, 462 Chestnut Street. Mr. Evans, I noticed that the three bond ordinances, since they're all yours, there seemed to be common language. I don't know if this is appropriate, that you're looking for vehicles, for instance. I believe it's like the first paragraph. We
Mr.
purchase
Moore,
additional equipment, vehicular equipment.
Mr. Moore, right now we're having a public hearing on specifically ordinance number 3477, which is for roadways.
Okay.
I will be going to the next ones, so
I'll wait. Okay, I'll wait
would
then.
that be okay?
Okay.
Sure.
Rory, why don't you just stay there? It won't be that long.
Yeah, we're just,
That would probably be a good idea. It looked like in all three ordinances, you were also purchasing vehicles. And I was just wondering why this vehicle is being purchased in all three ordinances? Why not one?
Or
That was
let's,
just a question. It
let's
seems to
deal with the first one. Okay, Commissioner, would you like to respond to that?
yes, the first bond ordinance that we're discussing is for roadway improvements. So we'll
Correct.
address vehicles when we get to the next bond ordinance.
okay, I'll wait. I'll wait.
Thank you. Okay, seeing that anyone else want to be heard on this bond ordinance?
Move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Mayor Tucci.
Aye.
Move the ordinance.
Second.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Mayor Tucci.
Aye.
The next bond ordinance is for the water utility. And Mr. Moore, that might address your question why it's different. It's for the water utility. It's for $285,000 in bonds related to improvements, which includes improvements to the water supply system, which is mainly water pipeline relining, various equipment, including a vehicle. Open a public hearing.
We'll now open the public hearing.
Rory Moore, 462 Chestnut Street. My only general question was, it seemed that you were purchasing
Yes. Sure. So as we're talking about this particular ordinance, 3478, this is for the water utility, which is actually a separate entity. So this is a bond. This is a bond within the water utility, not the main municipal account. So it has to be handled separately.
it off. You okay?
Go ahead, you're good.
We've got feedback.
Your question, Mr. Moore?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to be heard on this ordinance?
Seeing no one, move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Mayor Tucci.
Aye.
My last ordinance,
You have to move the ordinance.
move the ordinance, excuse me, move the ordinance.
Second.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Petracca.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Mayor Tucci.
Aye.
My next ordinance is for a bond ordinance appropriating $1,156,000 for improvements, capital improvements in the township, which covers necessary improvements to municipal buildings, other items that are necessary for such as vehicle purchases, equipment replacements in public safety and so on. Also, we have had for this past several years a capital item relating to the improvement of our technology infrastructure and especially the security of our infrastructure, given the nature of cyber attacks that municipalities experience.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'll open the public hearing. Does anyone wish to be heard on this ordinance?
Rory Moore, 462 Chestnut Street. Commissioner, we're looking at ordinance 3481, is that correct?
No, 3479.
Okay,
3481, I believe, is the bond ordinances that was on for introduction tonight, which
Okay.
was related to damage sustained by the town for item.
thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Anyone else wish to be heard? Will entertain a motion to close the public hearing?
Move it.
Second.
Commissioner Kelly.
Aye.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Mayor Tucci.
Aye.
Move the ordinance.
Second.
Commissioner Kelly.
Aye.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Mayor Tucci.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. We will now move into resolutions. Commissioner Kelly, anything this evening?
I have no resolutions, but I would like to say go Yankees.
I'll second that.
Great sentiment. I think we're all in favor? No. We're not voting on that. Okay. Commissioner Evans.
Thank you, Commissioner. You don't want people to question where your focus is, though. 'Cause what could be more important than this? Thank you, Mayor. I have a few, 4 resolutions that I have to read. 5521, whereas permission is required of the Director of Local Governmental Services for the approval as a dedication by rider of revenues received by a county or municipality when revenue is not subject to reasonable, accurate estimates in advance. Whereas NJSA 48:5-29 provides for receipt of donations, acceptance of bequests and gifts for the Nutley Fire Department Emergency Medical Services by the municipality to provide for the operating costs to administer this act. Whereas NJSA 48:4-39 provides that the dedicated revenues anticipated from the donations for the emergency squad are hereby anticipated as revenue and are hereby appropriated for the purpose which said revenue is dedicated by statute or other legal requirement, which means that if we do get a bequest, it has to be directed to solely for the purpose of the rescue squad. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of the Township of Nutley, County of Essex, State of New Jersey, as follows. The governing body does request permission of the Director of the Division of Local Governmental Services to pay expenditures of the donations for the Fire Department Emergency Medical Service Trust Fund under the provisions of NJSA 48:5-29. The municipal clerk is hereby directed to forward 2 certified copies of this resolution to the Director of Local Governmental Services. So move.
Second.
Commissioner Kelly.
Aye.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Mayor Tucci.
Aye.
Be resolved.
So Mayor, the camera, thank you, Sal.
Oh. Sal, do we need a television timeout here or are we good?
We might need to amend our capital ordinance.
I think it was you, Commissioner. but Please continue.
Be resolved by the Board of Commissioners of the Township of Nutley in the County of Essex, State of New Jersey, that the treasurer be, and she is hereby authorized to refund overpayment of tax charges in the amount of $2,896.41 for Block 6301, Lot 1. So move.
Second.
Commissioner Kelly.
Aye.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Mayor Tucci.
Aye.
My next resolution is 25721. This is basically memorializes the understanding with the state of New Jersey with regard to the receipt of our transitional aid for 2021. Our aid amount is $162,500, and this will be the final year that we receive the aid because we've been able to negotiate a permanent aid amount going forward for $2,600,000. Since we were able to start this process, we've received in temporary aid since the beginning of about $28 million. And now we'll get $2.6 million a year in perpetuity. So now therefore be resolved that in addition to all other sums provided by the state of New Jersey or its municipal subdivision, the director hereby authorizes payment of transitional aid funds in the amount of $162,500 to the municipality in support of their budget. Be it further resolved, Nutley has successfully recovered from the fiscal imbalance, which was the impetus for their participation in the transitional aid program. Moody's recently rated Nutley as a AA2, citing strong financial foundation and stable reserves. As such, this $162,000 payment will be the final transitional aid payment effective December 31st, 2021. Nutley will be released from the transitional aid program. So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Kelly.
Aye.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Mayor Tucci.
Aye.
My next resolution is on behalf of the board. It's a resolution of the Township of Nutley authorizing the execution of a settlement agreement with Hoffman LaRoche, Inc. and certain other class action parties. Alan, do I need to read all of the whereases, or can I just read the now therefore? Okay. Okay. So basically what the resolution covers is the parties to the class action, which included Nutley, City of Clifton, as well as Hoffman LaRoche and Deluxe Checking Corporation. The action was relating to an environmental claim, which has been agreed to be settled. The Township of Nutley has been released from the class action without having to make a settlement payment. Now therefore be resolved by the Board of Commissioners of the Township of Nutley, County of Essex, State of New Jersey, that the aforesaid recitals are hereby adopted and incorporated herein as if repeated in full, and that the mayor being is hereby authorized to execute and the township clerk being is hereby authorized to witness settlement agreements between the Township of Nutley, Hoffman LaRoche, and the class in a form of a content acceptable to council of the Township of Nutley. This resolution shall take effect immediately. So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Kelly.
Aye.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Mayor Tucci.
I abstain.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Petracco.
Yes, some of these I'm going to read by resolution number because this is regarding the body worn cameras again. The confusion has been that when we first passed it, it was this for the money spent. I believe the grant is about 174,000 if I'm correct. So as we spend the money, I guess our lines got crossed. We thought we had to keep reading this into the record. So we're going to pass the whole grant, and as they spend the money, they'll report to me. So the first one is be resolved by the Board of Commissioners, Township of Nutley, County of Essex, State of New Jersey, that resolution number 230-21 adopted on September 21st, 2021, entitled Resolution for Body Worn Cameras Grant is hereby rescinded. I move it.
Second.
Commissioner Kelly.
Aye.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Mayor Tucci.
Okay, and this is the one I'm just going to move by number. It's Resolution 259-21. I move the resolution.
Second.
Commissioner Kelly.
Aye.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Mayor Tucci.
Aye.
Thank you. Be resolved by the Board of Commissioners, Township of Nutley, County of Essex, State of New Jersey, that Janice Garcia, an employee of the Department of Public Safety, be granted medical leave of absence without pay effective September 13th, 2021 through November 7th, 2021. I move it.
Second.
Commissioner Kelly.
Aye.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Mayor Tucci.
Aye.
Be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners Township of Nutley County of Essex State of New Jersey that Karen Ginter, an employee in the Department of Public Safety, be granted a medical leave of absence without pay effective September 7, 2021 through November 7, 2021. Move it.
Second.
Commissioner Kelly.
Aye.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Mayor Tucci.
Aye.
Okay, and the last one I have, Mayor, is number 264-21. Again, we read this a few times, so I'm going to pass it as written. I move it.
Second.
Commissioner Kelly.
Aye.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Mayor Tucci.
Aye.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Scarpelli, anything this evening?
I have no resolutions tonight, Mayor.
Thank you. Whereas an application has been filed for a place-to-place transfer, it's an expansion of premises of plenary retail consumption license number 071633023005 Crimson 95 Spirits LLC, trading as the Oakley 789 Bloomfield Avenue, Nutley, New Jersey, for the purpose of expanding the premises on the license wherein the sale, service, and storage of alcoholic beverages are authorized. Whereas the submitted application form is complete in all respects, the transfer fees have been paid, and the license has been properly renewed for the current license term. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners of the Township of Nutley County of Essex State of New Jersey does hereby approve effective October 5th, 2021, the expansion of the aforesaid plenary retail consumption license premises located at 789 Bloomfield Avenue, Nutley, New Jersey, to place under the license the area delineated in the application form and the sketch of the licensed premises attached thereto. I move the resolution.
Second.
Commissioner Kelly.
Aye.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Mayor Tucci.
Aye. Be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of the Township of Nutley in the County of Essex, State of New Jersey, that the treasurer be and she is hereby authorized to refund payments for recreation programs in the amounts listed below. 305 Wilshire for the Gleeful Wellness Program, $50 for the year 2021. 307 Walnut Street for the Festival in the Park in the amount of $100. And 210 Rutgers Place for it's a Matilda the Play refund in the amount of $150. I move the resolution.
Second.
Commissioner Kelly.
Aye.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Mayor Tucci.
Aye. Whereas the Township of Nutley received sealed bids for surplus equipment no longer in use by the township on July 28, 2021. And whereas Jersey One Auto Sales, Inc., 495-497 Tunnelly Avenue, Jersey City, was the higher bidder at the following equipment/vehicle: 2011 Crown Victoria, VIN number 2FABP 7BVXBX 114412 in the amount of $1,261, and a 2001 Dodge Durango, VIN number 1B4HS28N 81F584409 in the amount of $1,061. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of the Township of Nutley in the County of Essex, the State of New Jersey, that the surplus items to be sold to the highest bidder, Jersey One Auto Sales. I move the resolution.
Second.
Commissioner Kelly.
Aye.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Mayor Tucci.
Aye. Thank you. That concludes our business for this evening. I would now like to open the meeting up to the public for comments.
All persons addressing the Board of Commissioners regarding community concerns should approach the microphone and provide their name and address for the record. Unless further time is granted by the board, each person shall limit their address to 5 minutes. All remarks to the board and its individual members must be addressed to the mayor. The mayor may defer citizens' comments to the appropriate member of the board.
Good evening. Can you hear me okay? With the mask? My
Yes,
name
ma'am.
is Gail Duris, and I live at 25 River Road in the Gateway condominiums. And I'm here to speak on an issue that we have dealing with parking and illegal parking and a safety issue when it comes to parking. I've lived in that complex since 1979, so I'm aware of how parking has gotten worse over the years. We currently have someone, I haven't seen the individual, but we currently have someone who has a very large cab without the tractor trailer. That's what I've seen, but my neighbors here have seen the actual tractor trailer attached to the cab. This individual has been parking a few yards from the main entrance and exit to our complex, which makes it very difficult to see at times any traffic coming down River Road from Dunkin' Donuts going towards Belleville, towards Arbor Hill next to us. Sometimes you have to go out part of the way, and if someone is speeding down River Road, you may wind up getting T-boned. This is an ongoing issue. This person has been parking there Saturday, Sunday for hours. If you go down the street to the next only exit from our complex, it's a one-way driveway going down. There's a sign there. It says no parking anytime. It has an arrow pointing this way and an arrow pointing that way. Do you know if that sign means that there's no parking at all on that length of the street? Or does it mean only a certain distance from that sign? That's one question I have. The other issue I have is when you go on East Center Street, if you're familiar with East Center Street, when you go out of the other driveway we have, which is two-way in and out, right across from us, I believe it's Atlantic Scale, they have some of their vehicles parking partially on the street, and then the rest is on the sidewalk. Every so often, there's a big white pickup truck, 25% on the street, 75% on the sidewalk. If you go up the hill at a certain point, you cannot see any vehicle coming down the way the hill curves. If you're on the other end going down East Center, you can't see any vehicle coming up. There are trucks, there are cars that park on the side going up the hill. So if I'm going out of the East Center driveway for the Gateway condominiums, I'm going up the hill, somebody's parked on this side, I have to go on the opposite side of the roadway. Somebody speeding down East Center Street is not going to see me at a certain point. You can't see over the hill, they can't see down. If I'm going up and they're coming down fast, we're going to have a head-on crash. And I almost had that happen to me once. I know enough to slow down when I'm going around a vehicle in case somebody's speeding down, not to get hit. This is me getting worse on and on and on. There are no parking signs going up East Center Street. At one point, there were a lot of no parking signs, a number of yards apart going up East Center Street on the right. You can park coming down, but not going up. I don't know what happened, but a number of those no parking signs were removed. You have to go like over the hill to actually see your first no parking sign on that side. So this is an ongoing issue, and I'm not the only one that has had this problem. Neighbors here also who have had an issue with this cab, and I took photos of it. I could show you the size of it. I could show you the no parking anytime sign. And I've called the police. My neighbors have called the police. Whoever this driver is, it's got an Indiana license plate on the side of the cab. It has a trucking company in Pennsylvania. This is an ongoing issue with this particular person. I have no idea why this person parks a few yards from the main entrance and exit onto River Road. But if this person's parking there and you have an SUV driver who parked and went somewhere in the complex, you have less visibility of the cars coming down River Road going towards Belleville. I've called the police, my neighbors have called the police, and we're getting nowhere. And I'd like to know what the problem is with getting this resolved by the town.
Commissioner Petracca, would you like to respond?
I like to ask a question. What happens when you call the police?
Wait. When I've called, they said they'll send someone down. That's all I know.
And do they?
I have no idea. Oh, well, I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry. One time I did see a car coming down as I was going to leave to go out the driveway. There was a police car that was coming down, whether the driver got ticketed or not. If this driver of the cab is getting ticketed, he or she doesn't mind spending a lot of money on tickets, number one, or two, they're not getting ticketed. This has been going on for months and months and months and months. It seems to happen on the weekend. That's when I've noticed it, like Saturday, Sunday. And I have no idea why the police, if they give a ticket, this person is appearing anywhere, is on record as being the driver and getting.
Why don't we do this?
tickets.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we set a time when you are available? I'll come down. I'll bring our chief with us to tell us all the problems and we'll resolve them.
Perfect.
Sound fair enough?
Yep.
Sam, can you get their numbers? You're very welcome.
Thank you. Would any of you other folks like to make any comments? That was good? Okay, great.
Rory Moore, 462 Chestnut Street. Mr. Tucci, Mayor Tucci, I have a few questions this evening, but one that's a concern to me is the Chicolini building is being raised. And I'd like to know if there's an asbestos abatement for that.
Mr. Moore, the company that's demolishing it checked it for asbestos abatement, and if there was any asbestos there, they removed it according to the regulations and the laws of the state of New Jersey. So far, so good. They're doing a fine job. They're being very neat about it, and we don't seem to have any problems.
There was supposed to be asbestos abatement supposed to be posted on the outside.
I will speak to them and check that out. I've been by there several times. I did not see that sign, but I
No,
will.
I didn't see it either. I'm just curious because that's my wheelhouse, and yes,
Okay.
that's supposed to be posted. And
I'll
I
be
think
happy to check that out for you.
There's a
Lord.
number of people who did express some concerns about that.
Mhm. Okay.
On October 1st, I believe, for the Chicolini building, it was supposed to be, contractors could submit proposals for that. Has there been any proposals submitted on October 1st for the Chicolini building?
Alan, would you like to
Necessarily-
respond to that, please?
Sure. Mr. Moore, I'm sorry, I can't turn my neck over.
That's
but,
okay.
We received two proposals that are being reviewed by our professionals, our planner and our development attorney. We expect to have a meeting with them at the next meeting to determine whether there's going to be deliberative process. I'm sorry, negotiations with a developer, and we'll alert the public when that's going to be, when that process will be completed. I know you made an Oprah request for the
Yes, I
documents
did.
already, and I spoke to our Oprah counsel this afternoon, and he indicates that until they're reviewed by our professionals and the commissioners have a chance to review them, we cannot release them. And once we do, we'll provide you with a copy.
I understand that. Thank you.
Okay.
I received an open response for Millennial Strategies. And on average, we pay about $3,300 as we did tonight on the bill list. But I noticed that a number of them were for police activities. I called the state police department and I called DCA. We don't need to submit it, the request, for instance, overtime enforcement, click it or ticket. And they had one, there was another one, distracted drivers. State police said that the police department would just submit their application for it because not all towns do it. It didn't require a grant to be written for that. And then when I started to look at a number of the other grants, I asked for the past 2 years, I noticed there was a lot of grants that were written that do not appear to have to have been written in a grant format. It could have been submitted through the police department and the fire department. And I'd like to know is what is the reason we're doing all of the grant writing for this?
I can respond to part of it, then I'd like to turn it over to Commissioner Petracco. In years past, because there were so many different grants that were available to municipalities, we actually missed a few, all right, because of our form of government, and because some folks were not made aware of grant deadlines and things of that nature, nor were they aware of the documentation that was necessary. So this board several years ago decided to retain the services of Millennium Strategies. All right, it's one group, one person who coordinates all our activities, and I'm very happy and proud to say that we haven't missed a grant that we've become eligible for in many years. Commissioner Petracco, would you like to follow up, please?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Also, I believe, and I spoke to Commissioner Evans about this, is that they get a flat fee, so it doesn't matter how much how many grants they write or anything like that. When I first came on the board as well, I remember for a lot of the fire grants, the fire department would write them. And since we've hired them, they've been taking care of them.
Sure. Mayor,
Absolutely, Commissioner.
so, Mr. Moore, as the mayor said, in the past, each commission department was responsible for going after grants on their own accord. So we decided, as the mayor has already said, to actually consolidate that and have a grant writing service, provide that service to us. Millennium Strategies has the ability not only to pursue county grants or state grants, but they also have the ability to help us apply for federal grant money when that's available. So we saw that as a huge benefit. What also is a huge benefit is instead of having to pay an outside grant writing service for each individual application, we've negotiated a flat fee. So every year we pay Millennium Strategies about $40,000 a year to actually provide this service. And as a community, we've been benefiting with receiving over $1 million a year in grant funds. So I think it's kind of to our advantage to have somebody who has, one, who's staying on top of all of the grant rules and the rules change for grant and making sure that we're eligible for that. I would also say with this past year, we've expanded, our use of Millennium Strategies because of the disasters that we've had in town. They were instrumental in helping to make sure that FEMA understood what the damage was to the community for Tropical Storm Ida, which helped us get a major disaster coverage, which is benefiting all of our residential properties. We do pay them an extra fee for that, but still the cost, the benefit far outweighs the cost.
There's no way that anybody as an employee in the town could be providing that service, because I did look into it. I did call DCA about it. And I understand that you said about the requirements. There are some, but they're not overwhelmingly.
Yeah, so I would tell you that, the bill is paid and it was consolidated in my department. I don't have anybody on staff that is qualified to be a grant writer and making sure they comply. And be honest with you, I think it's in the best interest of the town to have somebody who's dedicated with the expertise, who does nothing but provide grant service support, understands all the compliance rules that go with that, because now we're taking advantage of their experience, their perspective, their insight, and their expertise, which I think serves the municipality very well.
Commissioner, just to follow up on that, they also comply with all of the reporting requirements, which are just as important for the subsequent years' applications moving forward. So
Failure to comply with compliance makes us subject to refunds. So
correct.
Again.
Anything else, Mr. Moore?
Yes, I have one last question, if I may. I see that we had to pay Peony. This is from another Oprah response. We had to pay Peony to review Ideal Way, the parking or the street Ideal Way over by Hopping LaRoche. But it was approved by the planning board. My question pops up to say, if the planning board reviewed it and approved it, why did we have to ask Peony to approve it? Because it was an additional charge for Peony to review what we already
Because,
reviewed.
Mr. Moore, many times what happens is the planning board will request the services of professionals in different areas. So obviously, this was a request made by the planning board to Pannoni Associates. Commissioner, would you like to add anything to that?
Yeah, so most of the time. They don't have it on their own, so it comes out of comes up on the bill list.
I was just looking at the handwritten note that said it was approved by the planning board. That's what confused me about it. If they approved it, why did we have to ask Peony to do it?
They approved the bill, Mr. Moore.
Okay.
They approved the bill. The planning board has no ability to pay the bill, right? It has to come back to the township,
And
and the
you-
township pays it out of the escrow account put up by PRISM when they're doing construction.
That would be
So they-
nice to note that in here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Does anyone else wish to be heard? I believe we have a need for a brief executive session, but when we return, we will not be taking any further action. So Commissioner Kelly, I believe you need the closed session.
Yes, for contract negotiation and litigation.
Thank you.
Need a motion?
Or do you want a motion to adjourn or motion for executive session?
Motion to go with the executive.
Motion to go in executive.
Thank you. I need a second.
Second.
Thank you. Whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975 permits the exclusion of the public from meeting in certain
be said.
circumstances. And whereas the public body is of the opinion that such circumstances exist. And whereas the Board of Commissioners of the Township of Nutley in the County of Essex and State of New Jersey desires to proceed to close executive session. And now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of the Township of Nutley, move into close executive session to discuss contract negotiations and litigations. Is that what you said? Thank you. Be it further resolved at the time when such discussion may be disclosed to the public shall be when and such disclosure may be made without adversely affecting the Township of Nutley, pending and or anticipated legal, personnel, contractual matters, and other matters within the exceptions provided for by statute. This resolution will take effect immediately. Commissioner Kelly.
Aye.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Mayor Tucci.
Aye.
Need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn the public session.
Second.
Commissioner Kelly.
Aye.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Petracco.
Aye.
Commissioner Scarpelli.
Aye.
Mayor Tucci.
Aye.
The time is 7:54.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you.